Continue with our story about Civil War and abolitionist history here in Madison County after recent national events and news. WBON-TV is here on Berea College campuses to talk to History Department Professor Dr. Dwayne Mack about how Berea specifically was set up in the abolitionist movement, which may have led to the reason why there aren't any statues or monuments in this area.
This is Pepsi Zero Sugar. Zero sugar, 0 calories, but max Pepsi taste. It's okay to get emotional. We know just how you feel.
Well, the school was founded in 1855. Cassius Clay, an abolitionist, invited John G. Fee, another abolitionist, to Berea to build a school and a church. And Fee was given land. You have to remember why the school was founded. Founded by an abolitionist, so he was against slavery. It wouldn't make sense to have any monuments in this town erected or representing ex-Confederates. Yeah.
And there's really no Union ones either, to my knowledge.
Not to my knowledge here in Berea, no. So, like I said, it wouldn't make any sense because Fee's vision was to have blacks and whites living together. I think of this place as a sanctuary for blacks and whites who oppose slavery. So the climate, the racial, you've had problems in this town. You've had segregation, you've had Jim Crow, you've had protests. So you still have resistance in this town and you still have racism and discrimination. But at the same time, you know, Fee's vision was to have blacks and whites live together. So I'm guessing that's one of the reasons. You know, Berea symbolizes interracial education. It symbolizes racial equality, social equality. So why would you have, you know, ex-Confederates representing your city when the school it's a reflection of how blacks and whites should come together. Off campus, definitely there's a statue of Fee that was erected a couple of years ago, I think with the last president. So
a few people even in Richmond are talking about, hey, we need a Cassius Clay statue.
Right, because it was his money, his resources that helped establish Berea College. So indeed, and he was a staunch abolitionist. Without Cassius Clay, there wouldn't be a Berea. As someone who is a historian, I think that this is probably a distraction more so than anything. These symbols, many of these statues were erected during the Jim Crow era, during the 20th century. They need to be taken down. They need to be put in museums. That's where they belong. There needs to be a story attached so that people can understand what these symbols mean, who these individuals are or were and what they did and their participation in slavery and the Civil War. But at the same time, there are bigger issues that we have as a nation, and I just think it's a major distraction from the real issues that we have. You know, there's health care, there's immigration reform, there's so many other, you know, there's high unemployment still, so many other issues we need to tackle that, you know, we can't now because of the distraction related to these monuments, these statues, you know, but they should definitely be taken down. You know, they should definitely be taken down. And I applaud those who have been out in the forefront, out in the streets protesting, but at the same time, we can't lose focus and take our eyes off the major prize.
And as a history professor, you definitely respect that. Hey, this is history. We are kind of in the South.
I do. I mean, in order to understand where we're at today, those monuments need to be examined. They need to be, you need to write about them. You need to have a narrative attached to them because most people don't know who some of these generals or Confederate soldiers are, you know, what they did or their role in the Civil War. So there needs to be some clarity provided.
Dr. Mack says he'll be using the recent news and movements as well as protests in his curriculum at the college, and he is also in the process of writing a book in which much of these contemporary events will be featured. It seems the way the county was founded is the opinion as to why there are no monuments in the area, as opposed to the two that are slotted to be moved from the old courthouse in Fayette County just to the north. For WBON TV here in Berea, I'm Marisa Hempel.